thank you. Before we start our lesson today, it's better to pray first. Pray begin. Okay, then. Is anyone absent today? No. No. Okay. Do you know what we learn today? No. No. We will learn about rotation of Earth, or we can call it Earth rotation. Anyone knows about Earth rotation? Yes, Jihan?
Earth rotation is when Earth rotation on its axis from west to east.
Okay, give applause to Jihan. Now, I will show you a video about Earth rotation. Please pay attention.
The Earth also spins around. It rotates. We call this the Earth's rotation. Have you ever watched a top spin around? The Earth does the same thing. The Earth's rotation is very important to us. Have you ever wondered why we have days and nights? Why does the sun seem to come up in the morning? Why does it seem to go down at night? Days and nights happen because of the Earth's rotation. The Earth spins around from west to east. As it spins, one side of it faces the sun. The other side faces away from the sun. When we're facing the sun, we have light. We call it day. When we face away from the sun, we don't have the sun's light. We call it night. It takes 24 hours for the Earth to rotate once. We call this one day. In the morning, the sun looks like it's rising in the east. Our side of the Earth is turning towards it. We are coming into the sun's light. In the evening, it looks like the sun is setting in the west. Our side of the Earth is turning away from the sun. Night is coming. What is happening on the other side of the world when we have day? That's right, the other side of the world is having night. When we have night, they have day. There's more to learn about the Earth's rotation. We say the Earth rotates on its axis. The axis is an imaginary line that goes through the middle of the Earth. It helps us understand how the Earth spins. The axis is not straight up and down. The Earth tilts a little as it spins. This tilting is very important. It's the reason we have seasons. We can think of the Earth as being in two parts, the top part and the bottom part. These are called hemispheres. The top of the Earth is called the northern hemisphere. The lower half is called the southern hemisphere. Sometimes the northern hemisphere is tilted toward the sun, and sometimes it is tilted away from the sun. In January, the northern hemisphere is tilted away from the sun, so it doesn't get much of the sun's light. The southern hemisphere gets more sunlight. So the southern hemisphere has summer, while the northern hemisphere has winter. The southern hemisphere has longer days. The northern hemisphere has shorter days. The North Pole is now in darkness for 6 months because it is tilted away from the sun. And the South Pole has 6 months of day because it is always tilted towards the sun. In June, the Northern Hemisphere is tilted toward the sun. It gets more direct sunlight. It's summertime in the Northern Hemisphere. What season is it in the Southern Hemisphere? That's right, winter. Now the Southern Hemisphere gets shorter days. The Northern Hemisphere gets the longer ones. The poles are now in opposite positions to where they were in January, with the North Pole having 6 months of day and the South Pole 6 months of night. In March and September, the sun is facing right at the middle of the Earth. The rays of the sun hit the northern and southern hemispheres equally. Days and nights are about equal in length. It's not hot like summer. It's not cold like winter. We have spring and fall. Winter, spring, summer, and fall. They all depend on the sun and the tilt of the earth. What is your favorite season? Remember, the movement of the earth does many things. It helps us measure time. It gives us years and days. It gives us daytime to play in and nighttime to sleep in. It gives us winter, spring, summer, and fall. The movement of the earth is very important.
After you watch the video about Earth rotation, I want you to make a group. One group consists of 2 persons, and you can counting yourself from number 1 until 2. You can start from now. Monday? 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. Okay, now listen to me. I will numbering yourself in group. Manda, you are number 1, Jihan number 2, Sophie number 1, and Dina number 2. Student with number 1, you can search about what is Earth rotation and how long it takes to the Earth to make one rotation. And student number 2, you can search the effect of Earth rotation. Okay, you can start from now. Okay. The time is over. Are you guys done?
Yes.
Okay, now I want you to go to your expert group. So student number 1 with student number 1 and student number 2 with student number 2. You can move now.
Okay.
guys, have done?
Yes, done.
Now you can go back to your home group and you can explain about your discussion with your friend in expert group, with your friends in home group. You can start from now. You can move to sit with your friends in home group.
Done.
Okay, have done?
Yes, Miss.
Give applause to us. Now you can go back to your seat, and after that I will give you a conclusion about the material.
Today we will learn about rotation of Earth. Rotation of Earth is the amount of time that it takes to rotate once on its axis. It takes 24 hours or 1 day to make one complete rotation. There are some effects of Earth's rotation. The first is changes occur day and night. The part of the Earth facing the Sun will occur during the day. Conversely, the part of the Earth that turns to the Sun will experience night time. The time of day and night can vary in different countries, depending on its location in which hemisphere. And the second is the existence of daily sun pseudo-motion. The impact of the next rotation of the Earth is the daily apparent motion of the Sun. The existence of the rotation of the Earth from west to east makes the phenomenon of the daily apparent motion of the Sun can be observed every day. The third is time zone distribution. There are 24 time zones on Earth from west to east. The time center is in the city of Greenwich, England. And the next effect is difference in the acceleration of Earth's gravity. The shape of the Earth is not perfectly round, but rather expand in the middle and right at the poles. This then produces a difference in the gravitational acceleration of the Earth. In effect, the acceleration of gravity in the equatorial region is smaller than the gravitational acceleration of the Earth in the polar regions. The next effect is diverting the direction of sea currents. The winds that are above the surface of the sea cause waves and currents. The result is a deflection direction of the ocean current, which is called the Coriolis effect. In the southern hemisphere, the ocean currents turn in a clockwise direction. Conversely, in the northern hemisphere, the direction of ocean currents turns counterclockwise. The next is changes in wind direction. The wind moves toward the area with minimum pressure. This causes changes in the direction of the wind as the effect of the Coriolis force on the wind. In the northern hemisphere, the wind will turn right. Conversely, in the southern hemisphere, the wind will turn left. The effect of the Coriolis force is caused by the impact of the Earth's rotation and the movement of objects relative to the surface of the Earth. And I will mention the other effects of Earth rotation, like differences in atmospheric thickness, the shape of the Earth becomes spheroidal, artificial satellite can function, there is a Foucault effect or changes in pendulum direction, jet lag effect when boarding a plane, occurrence of the Coriolis force, and the last is differences in international deadlines. Thank you.
Now, do you understand about the material?
Yes.
Now you know about Earth rotation and its effect. I think that is enough for me. Thank you for your attention and see you